pair on board. Tens and nines, the best hand for both players. But the king kicker of Scullion plays. And this is going to be unfair if Smith starts to get hit with the deck here and pick up some hands. I would say nobody has any chance at all.
No, then it's going to be over soon.
Fact is,
Pass.
Ken,
Pass.
the fact that this game is still five-handed really suits the chip leader, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Oh, look at this. I mean, how lucky can a guy be?
Where's all in?
This is ridiculous. He only plays kings, kings, ace, queen, ace, king, ace, king.
He's gotten them often enough to justify that strategy.
Yeah. Anybody else would, you know, have no chips left, but he just keeps the right cards at the right time.
The machine feeling a bit aggrieved. Ace queen suited, not the best hand.
But supposed to be a great hand, five-handed. Two spades, still alive.
Yeah, it is Blake all in. There's 125,000 in this pot. If the spade comes, it's going to be goodbye for Blake. I would say the rest of the table is rooting for Blake here, Ken.
Absolutely. Usually you root for a guy to get knocked out, but not Blake. They want him in. And they don't want the machine to have the chips.
The horseshoe, is it lucky? Sit on it! Here's the river.
Spades.
That's straight through the heart, Tim Blake. Well, he always got his money in the good spots, Ken. But to no avail for Tim Blake. Look at that hand once more. Ace King strong over Ace Queen before the flop, but the spades have dug a big hole for the rest of the table and made a flush for Graham Smith. And there's some pretty unhappy customers, but none of them live in Graham Smith's house. Graham Smith right now with half the chips in play, and that army is going to war.
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com.
Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. The machine is starting to fight back and regain his chip lead. Will he make it into the semifinal? We'll go over to our commentators.
Carrington, the new short stack. Eight's got beat up by Paul Scullion, and I just wonder if he could afford to fold any two cards there. Perhaps the two he had were so bad it was mandatory. No one likes their stack to get too short, but sometimes you can't help it. What's Scullion going to do here?
Tricky, tricky. I think there's nothing wrong with folding there.
Pass.
20,000 on Liam. And
All in?
I think he said all in.
Yeah, he did. He's playing the player.
Well, Liam's right in, I would imagine, estimating that Smith would have raised from this position with nearly any hand. But King Queen right now looks like the nuts.
Yeah, it's never fun to call King Queen because you're not a favorite over a weak ace, which is a pretty common hand for Liam Flood in this position, but
it's a pretty good raise. I mean, the only way Smith can call here is if he puts Liam on a bluff. Or no.
I mean, yeah. But then again, if Liam has pocket jacks, he still get a 50-50 chance. King Queen is pretty powerful four-handed. And look at that face. Do you trust him? Would you, Jesse?
I think he's insane, Flood, right here. But I fancy he's going to get away with it. Smith has made some disciplined folds already tonight to re-raises, and he knows that Flood has come over the top of him with some pretty big hands already.
Liam has gotten the better of it twice before against Smith, taking a lot of chips of Smith. Will this be the third time?
1-1-3.
1-1-3.
Ken, is there any indication that Smith can get from the fact that Flood went all in? If he had a huge hand, would he maybe have raised smaller?
No, I don't think so. I think from all the way from aces down to 6-3 of clubs, he would have moved all in. Well, I didn't know that he would move all in with 6-3 of clubs, but I know now. The question is, what's the machine thinking? Does it feel that Flood has a legit hand, or does it feel like you want to gamble? There's a lot of thoughts going through the machine's head right now. Lays it down.
Wow. And it's easily, in my mind, that was the biggest decision and hand of the tournament so far.
Yeah, this was huge for Liam. He's back in the saddle, trailing Graham Smith. We got game now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna make a big bluff, you better know the guy's gonna fold. And let's hear Phil Hellmuth's take on bluffing.
So you want to make a big bluff? It's not just betting every single hand. It's not just recklessness that creates a bluff. What creates a great bluff is setting it up. And table image has something to do with that. So you wait, you play a good patient game, you wait until the time is right, until your opponents are weak, and then you make that great bluff. But you don't give it away, you don't start talking, you don't do anything differently than when you bet your strong hands. You want to put in the chips the same way you did the last time your opponent saw you with a strong hand. You want to make the same comments, you want to put your head in your hands the same way, make sure everything matches, because when you act the same way you did with a strong hand, the instincts of the other player say he has a strong hand. A bluff takes timing.
Line's about to hit 7 and 15,000, Ken, and Smith back up to 50% of the chips in play.
Yeah, he looks strong. Carrington, he needs to play 1 or 3 hands, and you know, he doesn't need much.
Wake me up before you go, 7 and 15,000, and aside from everything else, the very obvious is that Spencer Carrington is in desperate shape. You say he's got 3 hands, meaning you think he can actually fold this one.
Yeah, if he's got a really weak hand and somebody re-raises before him.
Flood probably has that in mind with the Kojak.
Raise to 50,000 total.
It's half a load of goo.
Now we don't know what Carrington folded, but if he had like 8-3, it was the correct move.
And Graham Smith has a couple of options here. He's counting out the money for a call, 35,000 to him.
He's the chip leader. Just put Liam to the test. Put it all in.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Liam raises on the button. There's a lot of hands that where the aces are the favorite, like this hand against the king jack.
Can ace 3 all in?
Yes, it's very tough to hit the flop with ace 3 and you don't know where you are.
Pass.
And
Liam says, yummy, you fold an ace. Good, I'm gonna raise you every time.
that's what I mean. I can kind of understand the fold, but showing Liam the ace, that must be like giving candy to the doctor.
That's like putting gasoline on the fire.
It is, isn't it?
That was right, you got nothing. I read your body language.
Okay, Graham, you're 7.
Yeah, but the problem is Liam Flood thinks king jack is a great hand.
I was going to say that. Graham did get a read on him, but
Because that's way above par from...
Raise to
Oh, look at this.
45,000 total.
If the machine finds a hand here, he's in trouble, that's for sure.
I would have to imagine anybody's in trouble.
All in.
It's the right move from Carrington. He has to play this hand.
Does he? Even
Yes.
though he's getting his chips in calling?
30.
Yeah.
Pass.
He doesn't have enough to get them in any other way, does he?
No, he's got 2 more hands to play.
Pass.
Queens.
Well, Carrington all in
That's okay.
and trailing.
Nice queen.
1 ace down.
Steady on there.
Carrington is actually getting 2-1 here with the small and the big blind.
Well, he's in.
30, another 10
The
there, Lee.
best news for Carrington right now is only paid 35 euros for his seat. Satellite at the Aces Club in Fuengirola, and I imagine they're all rooting for him now, but it's looking dire, desperate, and dead right now for Spencer Carrington. Prayer probably his best option here.
Yes, you're right about that.